Hello. The Farthingale had two eras, the Spanish Farthingale and later on the French Farthingale. The word Farthingale originates from the Spanish word verjugado that comes from the very old Spanish word of verdugo, and other Elizabethan spellings were verdingale, verdugal and fardingale. Verjugado translates loosely as green wood, cane or wand. And later on, an old Spanish meaning of executioner, hangman, cruel master or tormentor. So, see how you can connect all that with the fashion. Now the Spanish Farthingale was a cone-shaped skirt and originally had the hoops on the outside of the skirt. Hoops were thought to be designed to keep hot, heavy, weighty skirts off the ankles in hot weather. This fashion was sort of late 15th century to late 16th century. The fashion was brought to England from Spain by Catherine of Aragon, who was of course Henry VIII's first wife. But it was when she married Prince Arthur, Henry's older brother, in 1501. The skirt was also held away from the body with a bum roll, which was to create childbearing hips and may have had sort of a symbolism attached to it with virility and fertility, a bit like the codpiece was, all to do with childbearing. The shape of the skirt was held out by boned underskirts, originally using cane, then willow, then stiffened rope, which you can see here. But then about from 1580 they were using whalebone. Now the later Elizabethan period saw the arrival of the French Farthingale. This was also called the drum farthingale or the wheel farthingale, because there was a specific underskirt with a flat top and the bum roll was stiffened with starch and placed underneath it. It was like a table effect, looked like this, and it dropped down with what looked like a tablecloth, but it was an underskirt specially made to go underneath the dress. And this was popular in France and across Europe in the late 16th and the early 17th centuries. On the 17th of March 1577, the English ambassador to Paris sent a new type of gown to Queen Elizabeth I, stating that it is now used by the French Queen and the Queen of Navarre. Now originally, this sort of fashion was just made and developed by just using a larger bum roll that sat underneath the outer skirt. But the Great Farthingale, as it was referred to in Queen Elizabeth I's wardrobe accounts, was developed with a big underskirt that we've just seen. And large farthingales remain popular across Europe, particularly France and England, until around 1620s, when the solo bum roll came back into fashion throughout the rest of the 17th century. Now, whether of course it was the Spanish Farthingale or whether it be the French Farthingale, these gowns were only worn by the wealthy and statist because, let's face it, nobody could work in this. Now in the Jacobean era, which was roughly 1567 to 1625, these farthingales became even more pronounced, and they had a very pretty rough top skirt along the flat piece and a wider skirt. And Queen Anne of Denmark, who was James I's wife, she had her existing farthingales altered to suit the English fashions from about 1603 to 18. However, as you can imagine, they were becoming problematic and seen as antisocial. Well, women could now not get near to anybody to kiss and hug, play games and have any fun. In London in 1613, during the wedding of Princess Elizabeth to Frederick V of the Palatinate, it was said that farthingales were not admitted to the crowd scenes and events to save space. And some people were hoping that this was an end to this ridiculous fashion. And this era saw the Farthingale chair designed with no arms on the side and a leaned back padded piece, enabling ladies to sit more comfortably. If you've enjoyed another historical fashion story, do join me again next time. Until then, bye!